Hello and welcome to topic 2 of week 3. What role am I looking for? You'll recall that we discussed competencies and CV profiles in the last topic, and I asked you to write down 3 competencies that you feel that you have. 3 things that you feel that you are good at. They may be, for example, problem solving. They may be interacting with people. Or they may be getting the job done on time, for example. But these are the things that I want you to actually identify what you're good at doing, and you need to be able to jot those down. Just make 3 points of things that you are good at doing. For this section now, we're going to be really looking at values and personality. And these are very, very important because they really frame obviously who we are, but also in relationship to the world of work, what we enjoy doing and what we are also good at as well. So it's very important that we bear these in mind. So our values, what are our values? And these are something really that are deep rooted within us, our values. And sometimes we can forget how deep rooted they are really and how strongly we feel about them as well. So really it shouldn't be too difficult for you to identify what your values are. They're actually part of who you are. And really, when I've spoken before about, say, working in the caring or say in a charity, for example, that really would relate to maybe values of compassion, for example, working with others, supporting in a supporting role, for example. So that would really come down to your values in that capacity. So ideally, you want a good fit with your employer's values. And here really, we're looking at the culture in an organisation. And the culture really refers to the way things are done around here. And that really is a very hands-on definition of what corporate culture is about, really. But that is what it is. It's about the way certain companies do things. And certain companies in certain sectors might do things similarly, but the culture, the feel for the organisation is really what we're referring to here. And in some situations, it's easy that we can match the culture of the company to our values as well, to our own culture in relationship to our values. So this is the ideal situation, that we want a good fit between who we are and who they are, and that we're working on a similar page. So by doing this, and really how do you do this? And a lot of the time you might gain information from people, from friends, for example, or from past colleagues that have worked in certain companies. You know, what was it like to work in there? What is it like to work in there? And hopefully they'll give you an honest account that can help towards build your opinion. But really it is an opinion at this stage. It might be quite different for you, the experience, if you were working there. But it would help you focus on employers that you are a good fit for. And again, when I was speaking in the caring and charitable areas, you know, in the areas of compassion, for example, that might be what I'm actually referring to in this situation. So values include things like honesty, for example, integrity, fairness, equality, family friendly, for example, innovative. Now, say, for example, the family friendly, that might be a very, very important aspect for people that have children, for example, and that they really do need to have that support within their employer, that they are family friendly, because they also, you know, do have a family as well, you know, so the hours, the flexibility of work, for example, might be something that is very, very important for certain individuals. Having the ability to share your ideas, for example, and be creative and continue to be creative and innovative might be a very, very important aspect for somebody else. And they wouldn't want to be working in a company that didn't promote this. So these are really what we're referring to here, your values. So really we need to think of, what do you value? What do you hold dear to you that is actually part of who you are? So really think about this and really try to make a note really of certain values that you have. So just jot those down. So what is it that you actually want? So we're looking at kind of more of who we are, what our values are. We're looking then at trying to match those values into organisations, for example, that might have similar values to us, and that this may really encourage our growth, our learning and our development within that organisation. And that might be very, very important for us. But really, what do you want? And really here you can see we have 3 separate columns. We have want, need, stroke have, what, want, need, stroke don't have, and don't want. So really what we're looking at here is things that you, if for example, if you want something, your particular need, and then you have it, for example, how important is it for you to have it? So it's really looking at what your particular needs are at this present time. Now, our needs do change based on circumstances, for example, so it's very important to bear that in mind. The second column then, want, need, but don't have. Now, for example, this might be something that you want more than because you don't actually have it, so you're striving for it, and it can kind of, to some degree, take over, really. And especially, for example, when people are looking for jobs and when they are unemployed, you know, the whole area of job searching, it really can really take over because it's something that we don't have, that job, and this is something that we want and we need, so it becomes very, very important for us. So then certain things that we have but we don't actually want it, as you can see the difference there, that the actual drive, the actual effort then that you put in is quite different. So really, in relationship to our needs, they can become very, very time consuming in the importance of actually getting and fulfilling that need. So we're looking really at your personal measures of success here, and can you distinguish between what you need and what you want? This is a very important thing, between what you need and what you want. So say, for example, at the moment, if you are job searching, you might need money to survive, basically. Whereas in previous times when you were in employment, you might have needed more recognition at work, for example, or more opportunity for advancement in your career. So these are really looking at the differences between what you need and what you want. And if you can really get the appreciation here of needing something is such a more bigger drive than wanting something. So what do you want to work with, for example? Do you want to work with people? Do you want to work with things, for example? Or do you want to work with data? Which do you prefer? Now, for some people, this is very, very black and white, that they can say straight away that they want to work with people. It's people that really, interacting with people is something that is very, very important to them, to their personality, for example. Whereas others would be very, very happy to work with data. So say, for example, in computer services, for example, that may be less orientated towards interaction with people. And things, for example, whether it's crafts or, you know, the ability to use your creativity on arts, for example, or something like that, they would come under the things column there. So really, which do you prefer? And really this should be quite clear cut to you, because it really does relate to who you are in particular. Here you can see the career wheel. Now there are many instruments and tools that can be used to really support you in identifying your satisfaction with current job or a most recent job. But also these can be used in job searching as well, and they're very, very useful in that capacity, because really what we're looking at here is a difference between needs and wants. So for example, on this career wheel, if we look at the money reward aspect there, we've got 1 to 10. So really we're ranking from 1 less important to 10 more important. So at this stage of time, how important is money for you in relationship to your satisfaction? Is it very, very important or not so important? So how important is money or rewards for you right now? So on a piece of paper you could make a note between 1 to 10. 1 not so important, 10 very important. And then you could rank it accordingly, for example, whether it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the more important, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the less important. And then what we do is we do that as we go through the career wheel, for example, technical skills, expertise, satisfaction with current job or most recent job. On what scale then would you rate your satisfaction under that area? The same then for creativity, autonomy, for example, having the ability to work on your own, the independence. For some people that's very, very important at work. For others, not so much. And then ambition and challenge, for example. How important is that for you? Again, ranking that. And security in your job. This may change, for example, in relationship to the economy and the climate in the economy, really, in that in sometimes when there's many jobs and jobs are plentiful, security might not be as high a requirement for you. Although when times are different and the economy is in situations, then when jobs are not as plentiful, then the security might be more important for you. And this is the way we'll go through this lifestyle, for example, the balance then between work and life. So this is your career wheel, and this is something that you can use yourself to really have a focus in on what is important for you. Now, why we are looking at this is because really, as I said before, things do change in time based on certain circumstances. And really what's important for us now might not be important for us in a few years' time, for example. And again, we might use this career wheel at a different stage and we might come up with different results, but it's very circumstantial, situationally based as well. But it's very important for us to identify, because really in some situations money might not be important. It's important to pay the bills, but it's not really the drive, for example, to have a very big salary for some people might not be as important as other people. Passion or purpose or of their actual job might be much more important for some people, or the reversal for others. For example, some people might be looking for the challenge, the ambition. That might be very, very important, and that becomes then a very big drive for a person. And I hope you can see that drive then becomes your focus, and that becomes the areas then that you choose to pursue in your employment. Other online resources or assessments that can be used, for example, teamtechnology.co.uk is an online personality test. And there's also careersportal.ie, which is a very good link as well. And this really can be used to help identify your transferable skills as well. So there are lots of supports online out there to help you as well. But really, it's you that has the information, and it's really about taking time to actually find out from yourself what it is you're actually looking for. So this week, my action plan. Please make a note of your key learning points for you this week. What are they? Make a note of them. Before next week, I will commit to and then make a note of those. What is it that you will commit to? And really here, we need to be looking at things like that we've covered, our competencies, are looking at our values, for example, really defining what roles we're looking for. So things I need to stop doing, start doing, keep doing. So for next week then, write out your values. Write competencies for your preferred roles. Find an example job description for this type of role. It doesn't have to be one you will apply for. Just to use as an example, this is a very, very good example to do this, because you will get a job description and be able to break it down then as well. And most importantly, it will help you become more familiar with that particular role. So try the personality profiling or career match tests that are available as well, which can be a great support to you. And review any exercises or actions you need to finish because this is all progress, it's all continuity in relationship to you and your search for employment. So thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking to you again.